A little over a month ago, March 7th, 2018, McDonald's kicked out a homeless man after a customer bought him food. If somebody buys you food, you are a customer. This homeless man is a customer. He was in a McDonald's wanting to eat his food, as a customer should be entitled to do. He has paid, well, somebody else paid for him, but it's for him, so he's paid for his right to sit in there and eat. Yossi Gaio, a very good Samaritan, bought this guy food. He was not allowed to sit in there and eat. He was trespassed. And boy, the outrage. It blew up all over Twitter. There were news stories. There were articles on it. Evening news and just about every locality ran a piece on it. There's a huge backlash against McDonald's for it. The CEO of McDonald's publicly apologized, once in writing, once in a video, and then he flew out to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where this happened, where this homeless man lives and was trespassed from this McDonald's. He flew out there to personally meet with this guy. It was amazing. The manager, we don't know what happened to the manager who called the police on this guy to have him trespassed. But the manager was either fired or relocated to another store. But ultimately, the manager is no longer working at this McDonald's, and therefore, problem solved. McDonald's, I don't know if you remember this, but a few weeks later, somewhere towards the end of March, McDonald's shut down all of their stores to have sensitivity training, diversity training, because you just can't. You just can't kick out paying customers. I mean, he's a paying customer. I mean, it's not like he's just some dude who walked into McDonald's and wanted to use the bathroom without paying or being a customer in some fashion. There's a huge imbalance going on. There's a huge imbalance. There is a cudgel that some people wield. Whether it's justified or not, I can't tell you. But let me just start off with this. We don't know why the manager at Starbucks. Oh yeah, in case I didn't tell you, no, this guy, he left because he knew that if he didn't leave, he would get arrested, and McDonald's had no reason to not arrest him and prosecute the individual in this video. This is from somebody who works there. The individual in the video has a history of disruptive behavior and has been asked to leave by management and police on several occasions. So no, there was no outcry, no rally, no protests, nothing for the homeless guy who actually has no power. But in this situation, where two black guys who were apparently real estate brokers or some such, who weren't allowed to use the restroom after they said they weren't buying anything. Obviously, there's got to be a protest for them. Obviously, there has to be a situation like this where you have a black guy with a megaphone 3 feet away. I guess that's about 3 feet, roughly arm's length away or counter length away from some poor white dude who had nothing to do with this, yelling at the white dude because white supremacy or something. You tell me. But I mean, it's just a terrible situation. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if this manager was motivated by racism. I would be a little bit suspect of that. Every Starbucks I've ever gone to has been very progressive. You've got people of unknown gender behind the counter. You've got all sorts of races working in there. I have, maybe in a city like Philadelphia that is predominantly white. Look at that, 44.8% white. Oh wait, 44.2% black. Well, maybe it's a white neighborhood. I don't know, but maybe it's just so lily white in this area that all the employees are going to be white and all the customers are going to be white. And this was just the first opportunity they ever had to be racist to these black people. But like I said, I don't know if she was motivated by racism. and neither do you. And neither does the CEO of Starbucks. Because I'll bet they asked her, and I'll bet she said no. I mean, maybe she's a complete fool and retarded, and maybe she did say that she was racist. I don't know. But I'll bet she said that no, she's not racist, that no, it was motivated because they weren't going to buy anything, and the white guy was allowed to do it because he said he was going to buy something. But before we have any real understanding, she's thrown under the bus, maybe fired, maybe reassigned to another store. You've got the CEO apologizing for her racism and for the racism of Starbucks in general. I mean, come on, dude. Like, and then they allow, this is in their store. They have every right to kick these protesters out. These protesters have no right to be in there without the consent of the store. But they allow these protesters in there to yell, to berate their employees. They turn their employees into whipping boys for these protesters. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So you cannot tell me that these black people, that they don't have a lot of power, that they aren't using racism as a cudgel. There are laws that protect them in places that, like restaurants, cafeteria, lunchroom, lunch counter, soda fountain, or other facility, principal engaged in selling food for consumption on the premises, including but not limited to any facility located on the premises of any retail establishment or a gas station. Starbucks, this fits. I mean, if they could prove, if those black guys could prove that there was racism involved in that decision, then they could sue. I mean, they could. Maybe that's what Starbucks is trying to avoid. I don't know. But McDonald's sure didn't prostrate themselves for this dude. And you're like, well, you're cherry picking, you know. But show me one time where just random straight white male was denied something and they turned it into a federal case and a national case and had protesters in the store berating the employees of the store for something that those employees didn't do. You tell me when that happened. Find me one. It's ridiculous. I don't like where this is going. There are, if those guys were denied goods, services, facilities, privileges, advantages, and accommodations of any place of public accommodation on the ground of race, color, religion, or national origin, then they had a lawsuit. They had a lawsuit, and they could find like ACLU. ACLU would love this. Somebody would pick this up. But this is ridiculous. Anyway, I've vented enough. I hope the story goes away because it's a ridiculous story. Have a great day.